Throughout the course of Irish history, the relationship between Britain and Ireland has been a tumultuous one. From the Anglo-Norman invasion of 1169 to the troubles of the 1970s and its sectarian divisions, the clashes between Ireland and Britain are numerous. One cannot discuss this difficult relationship without investigating one of its most famous antagonists, Oliver Cromwell. Cromwell's conquest of Ireland from 1649 to 1653 earned him an infamous reputation and legacy, one of which still exists today. He was a rebellious character who rejected the authority of the British Crown. He was one of the main driving forces behind the trial and execution of King Charles I in 1649, and Cromwell also had strong Republican views, especially when it came to establishing the British Commonwealth in 1653. Cromwell was a deeply puritanical Protestant on a revenge mission to suppress Roman Catholicism in Ireland. He was deeply tormented by the apparent persecution and massacre of Irish Protestants during the rebellion of 1641 and wanted to firmly settle Ireland as a loyal Protestant nation once and for all. Cromwell envisaged that this would be achieved through the seizure of Roman Catholic-owned land, which would then pass into the hands of loyal Protestant settlers. This mission or conquest was a bloody and fierce one, resulting in a number of violent battles between the Confederates and Parliamentarians, including those at Drogheda, Clonmel and Wexford. The Parliamentarians earned a particularly bad reputation from the battles at Drogheda and Wexford, as the Cromwellian New Model Army effectively decimated Irish rebels, in many instances with an estimated 500,000 people being killed as a direct result of the 4-year-long conflict. Propaganda was rife at this time in London, with exaggerated reports reaching the press that some 150,000 Irish Protestants had been massacred by Confederate rebels in the 1641 uprising.
Many of the battles during the Cromwellian conquest have been etched in Irish people's memories for many centuries. Sieges at Drogheda and Wexford claimed many lives in Cromwell's pursuit of revenge and conquest. The Parliamentarians cut off supply chains to besiege towns and cities, forcing the Irish Confederates to surrender in the face of starvation and sickness. One of the most remarkable contentions of the conquest was Cromwell's treatment of civilians as his forces tore through the country. Many historians have recorded the many evictions and forced movement of people and settlements which took place against Irish Roman Catholics during the conquest, as well as the destruction of food supplies and burning of vital crops, which aggravated existing famine and plague conditions in Ireland. Cromwell did not draw the line when it came to the clergy and church, with many targeted assaults on places of worship, most notably the slaughter of clerics at the Rock of Cashel and the subsequent destruction of the church and community there. Surprisingly, many of the native Irish people were sold as slaves, often being sent to the new British colonies on the east coast of North America and the Caribbean islands as settlers for the Commonwealth. Many people today do not fully realise the extent to which Irish Roman Catholics were treated during the conquest. The fact that some were sold as slaves in foreign lands has contributed to contemporary conversations on British colonialism and its links with slavery through the centuries. Many people today have labelled these tactics as genocidal and ethnic cleansing ones, which had detrimental effects on Irish society, population, and the relationships between Roman Catholics and Protestants. What Oliver Cromwell effectively managed to achieve through the conquest of Ireland was a total colonialisation of the island and its introduction to total British rule for the first time. It disrupted the traditional Roman Catholic land-owning classes, forcing much of Ireland's prime land into the hands of loyal Protestant settlers, forever changing Irish society. The conquest added to the huge sense of hatred and disdain that the Irish had for the British at the time, contributing to later rebellions against British rule, most notably during the Williamite War during the latter part of the 17th century. It is for these reasons that the legacy of Oliver Cromwell in Ireland will always be a contentious and painful one for its natives.